Richard Sherman just replaced Shannon Sharpe, and we were talking about it before. I think it just made the news in the last couple of hours. It was official there in the States. How do you guys feel about that? I mean, I know I'm very interested in what Dom has to say, but I know AllBall and Flea got very strong opinions. What AllBall? What do you think of Richard Sherman replacing Shannon Sharpe at this point on Undisputed FS1?
One word, two syllables. No, one word, three syllables.
Oh, C2 fucking it up.
Look at me. Terrible. Terrible. Right? Terrible. Exactly. Um That's why I miss y'all. See? You gotta love it, man. Come on, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Listen,
shit.
I'm gonna be honest.
Uno, dos, tres.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like it. And I'm gonna tell you why. I don't see Richard Sherman being able to discuss other sports. Like I don't see him sitting at basketball games. I've never seen him discuss basketball games, soccer, baseball. I've never seen him discuss or be around any type of entertainment, whether it's the rap world, the entertainment world, the acting, actress world. So it's going to be very hard for me to respect his opinion if they're talking any other sport but football. At least with Shannon Sharpe, he'd tell you he was a diehard basketball fan. So he watched it, he did things like that. So I don't like it. I hate it. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm being honest with you. I don't think it's going to work. I think they're going to get through a couple episodes and that's going to get cut short. I think this was just some type of headline. Let me just say this, and I'm going to let Flea go. It just shows you how desperate Fox FS1 is. I think they've been looking all this time and they really don't have nobody. Now we in the month of August. The show airs in a couple weeks and they really don't have nobody. So I think Richard Sherman is just somebody to throw in there, but I hate it. Like I said, if it's not football, how are we gonna respect his opinion if he's talking basketball or boxing? I've never seen him sit courtside. I've never even heard him talk about anything except football. He's a very smart guy. I think he graduated from Stanford. Right. I think he's from Compton. Very smart guy, very articulate. So I don't take that away from a great football player. But once again, I don't know what else he does. So if it's a debate show, how is he going to debate anything else when I don't know if he knows about any other sport? So I can't wait to see this shit crash and burn. That's what I'm waiting for.
Yo,
I'm waiting for Skip to retire so I can pop bottles. Yeah, I said it.
Yo, leave it up to OG to insert emotion into everything. You know how he does. He jumps out the window off of shit like this. Let's start here. Back in 2016 September, when Undisputed started with Skip and Shannon, people were saying the same things OG2 was saying. It's not gonna last long. What does Shannon know about the landscape of sports besides football, right? That was always the thing. How was he going to be able to keep up with Skip when they're going away from the game of football? And after a few months, after a year, Shannon showed us that, like, he can hang. So I'm not going to say Richard Sherman is not going to be a great replacement. They'll never recreate that magic that they had between Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless. They had great chemistry. They presented a great show every day. Yeah, it started to break down after a while, but they always presented a great show for people to watch, right? And Shannon was extremely entertaining after a while. He always started his love for LeBron James, the GOAT mask, the Black and Miles, the Hennessy, just being right? That aspect of it was super entertaining. My thing is, I don't know how entertaining Richard Sherman is going to be. The guy's a smart dude, so I know he's going to be prepared. But in terms of the entertainment value of being on TV, I don't know how he's going to create that. I remember, and I'm sure all four of us remember, that episode on First Take when Sherman was on there with Skip and Stephen A. And Sherman was giving it to him, right? He was giving it to him. And it was an awkward time, but at the time that First Take was going on, that was necessary because Skip never got any pushback from somebody, right? So that felt a little, it felt a little uncomfortable, but felt good at the same time because you got somebody going back as Skip the way we always thought Stephen A should have done, right? So I'm just interested to see what kind of pushback Richard Sherman gives to him on a daily basis and what kind of chemistry they develop and how entertaining Richard Sherman is going to be.
Dom, what do you think? Because for me, like these opinions come from all of me, AllBall, Flea. We're gonna come from actually watching it, maybe entertaining it. Like you come from a purist standpoint, not for nothing. Like Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. The way you talk about First Take is always they ruined sports media. They ruined the way you perceive sports, and you're younger than all of us. So for you to like understand that, it took me a while to be like, you know what, he might be right. Do you think this moves the needle for you, or it's just another like, oh, they're just making it even worse? It ain't nothing changing. What do you really feel about this?
Well, I think my first thought was what Flea said, the Richard Sherman, Skip Bayless on First Take when he said, "I'm better than you at life." Shout out Nick Pillow.
Shout out to Nick Pillow.
He said, "I'm better than you at life." That was a viral clip. I thought that was hilarious. And when you first said Richard Sherman is replacing Shannon Sharpe, I was like, okay, because I thought of that clip. I was like, that honestly might be entertaining. Then AllBall said something that makes a lot of sense that I forgot about. Now we have to hear Richard Sherman. He's going to have probably quotes that go, on social media and stuff, talk about hoops. I don't know. I mean, Richard Sherman is a professional athlete, so you always can relate in that sense. But how much do you really know about hoops? It has nothing to do with how good you are. Like, it really comes down to how you can analyze the game. Obviously, being on a court has helped, and I'm guessing Richard Sherman probably played growing up a little bit, but, how much NBA knowledge does he really have? I mean, he's going to have time to watch because NFL is only on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays. So he's going to have time to watch NBA and maybe learn more about it, just like Flea said Shannon did. But, going back to what Fabian said, y'all already know what I think about this shit. Like, everyone says, okay, it's supposed to be entertaining. If I'm trying to be entertained, I would much rather listen to AllBall talk than them. I swear to God, an authentic New York fan talk about his team that he's passionate about. These guys, I mean, of course they have passion for sports. Shannon Sharpe, in which case, huge passion for football that he played professionally. And Skip Bayless does seem passionate about ball. But, I mean, Skip Bayless, I respect what he's done in his field, absolutely. But am I really going to sit here and say that he has helped basketball discourse? Maybe from a financial standpoint, how much money you can make by hating on one athlete so much and making a whole shtick out of it. Does he make me laugh? He absolutely makes me laugh, but he's not making kids more intelligent fans. Like, at the end of the day, none of these stands are doing this, or these haters, the Nick Wrongs, or even Shannon Sharpe with his LeBron obsession. It's ridiculous.
Wait, Dom, hold on, run that back. The Nick Wrongs, I love that shit.
You haven't heard Nick Wrongs, bro.
I love that
Shannon Sharpe, even to a degree, Rob Parker, like these guys, dude. Shannon Sharpe, you're a Hall of Fame tight end, getting into it with a role player in the league courtside because he's getting to look at James' face. Like, bro, are you serious? Like, it's honestly become comical at this point. Listen, Shannon Sharpe is 10 times better than Dylan Brooks in his sport. But Dylan Brooks said, what, he's the guy on TV or something? Like, I mean, obviously that was disrespectful, but that's because Shannon Sharpe, he made himself look a little crazy sometimes with the LeBron stuff. But I get it. He's from Ohio, right? And that's his whole shtick on the show. But just every single day having a Jordan stan versus a LeBron stan, it just continues this conversation of Jordan versus LeBron, which eventually becomes, the 90s versus now. And then it goes back to the whole discussion we have every week where we got each era shitting on the other. And I just don't think that makes us more knowledgeable. As far as the show, we'll see how it goes. As I say, I stopped watching the mainstream media a couple of years ago because I realized, I'm trying to be there, but I'm trying to be better than you. And also, if I want to support people, I want authentic content creators like ourselves. So I spend my time watching way more hours of AllBall on Instagram Live than First Take or any of these. I only respond to First Take occasionally when it's on my Twitter feed and shit. So I don't think much of it, but good for Richard Sherman. He's going to get a lot of money. And I like Richard Sherman because he's from out here.
Before you jump in there, Fabian, what holds Skip to such a high level of esteem within that industry, Skip been around for a lot of shit, y'all. Like
Yeah.
he's been in the building, he's been on the sideline, he's been with a lot of stuff, right? So I know he's become like this caricature on TV, right? He plays this role on TV. He's a villain, LeBron's biggest hater, all of that kind of stuff, right? But if you go take a look at Skip's resume, if you go listen when he's talking on Undisputed, not the nut shit, but the one line is when he drops in and he says, I was on the sidelines for the 87 finals in Boston. I was in Russia when Russia, lost, when we lost against Russia in the Olympics in hockey. Like, he was at a lot of these historical events, right? Covering the game, whether that's golf, whether that's football, basketball, soccer. Like, he's been around for a lot of the important shit. And so that's what really he's able to rest on. Like, all of this shit that he's doing post his journalism career is just like fluff. That shit is just icing on the cake. His real career is being a journalist and being around for, we can hate him, but he's been around for a lot of stuff.
Fabian as well. Like I said, man, it's other people that also said what you just said, Dom, as far as like guys messed up sports media. Because it's no authenticity at all. Like, it's just literally characters.
Yeah.
And, to me, it's just, and I'm just be brief, it's just real sad to see the legends doing clickbait. I'm just being honest, man.
I agree.
I don't understand. Like I said, I'm just cut from a different cloth, and I know I try to be funny, entertaining, because I like to laugh. I don't want to be mad all day, but it's like, yo, man, you gotta wanna just be honest. That's just my whole thing. And like I said, the Richard Sherman Skip thing, I agree with what you said at first with Unc. It was kind of hard to, understand and be like, and it turned out to be great. But from the beginning, Unc was a character.
Yeah. We know him to be that on the football field.
Right.
Yeah.
So as much as, it's called sports and entertainment. TV, you have to be, I'm not saying you have to be entertaining to the point where you're just a clown. No. But you have to have some type of, you have to be a little bit entertaining. And I don't know, for me, if I'm able to watch Richard Sherman for 2 hours. I'm just being honest with you. They're gonna have a hard time. So I don't think he's going to be fully on the show. If he's fully on the show 5 days a week, like how
Shannon
was, boy, they are in trouble, Flea. They are in trouble.
It's tough. I keep saying that. I don't know how they plan to recreate that magic. I remember early Undisputed days, they used to have a lot of guests, right? So it used to help Shannon when they used to bring on Steven Jackson, Kendrick Perkins, like they used to bring on a lot of different guys to support Shannon when he's talking basketball. So I don't know if they're gonna do that for Richard Sherman to get him comfortable. All I do know is that we're gonna learn a lot about this dude, stuff that we don't know. Cause same thing for Shannon. It's a lot of stuff I learned about him on that show last 6-7 years. I had no idea. So I'm trying to get him to BD. I'm trying to get him the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully, we in for some good television. But in terms of talking the game, that's what I'm interested to see.
Yeah.
So I think even with like what Nick Pillow was saying here, problem is now the people with the actual on the mic talent have no chance to rise. Trying to rise in a company like ESPN is so difficult. They barely want to give them hours. And then Fish said Howard Cosell made himself part of the game, but he kept his sports. But once the 2000s rolled around and the media became bigger than the story, then they ruined it. See, to be honest with you, I disagree with all of that stuff. Like, entertainment is entertainment. I just don't. For me, either Richard Sherman is good or he's not. Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, to me, it was must-see TV, but then they got out of hand. It's like I did a segment on Ice Cube versus Biggie, and like being from New York, you automatically think Biggie's better. Like you would just he's gonna just top no matter what the topic is. But then you go into it, Ice Cube is way more influential than Biggie. That's not close. And part of the reason why is because he was quality from the beginning with NWA. He is a part of changing the entire scope of the game. But what happens with that? Biggie, everybody copied them. Everybody's a carbon copy of NWA. It is not the original. And because of that, you have a whole bunch of copycats that a lot of them, they don't really have talent. They copy the BS that comes with it.
Yeah, I
you
feel
see the
personally
like even
attacked
50
right
Cent.
now. I feel personally
Why?
attacked because we had a conversation offline and you tried to sneak this bullshit in on live in front of people, right? So I ain't gonna act like you wasn't just shooting at me. That's fine.
Oh,
that's fine.
You could,
but
I would love for you. I would love for you to go back on that because I just think it's a part of the game with movies. It doesn't matter what form of entertainment, even in sports. What do they always say? When the Patriots, even though they didn't win the championship and they had the 2 tight end system with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez, they changed the game. That changed football from then on. With 2 tight ends, you had to have 2 tight ends out there. So now with Skip Bayless and them, it's like at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want. This whole thing we're doing right now is all based on that. I'm sorry, that's how I feel. It's all really based on PTI. Part of the interruption started everything with sports, and they changed television, but they were organic. Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon are actual friends. They worked together on the floor, and they argued every single day, and it was a show before it was a show on a newspaper floor. That's how that started.
Even with the sports reporters. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yeah.
Every Sunday with Mike Lupica and Dick Schaap and those guys. Like that was, you know what I'm saying? That was like authentic sports talk. And they were columnists, journalists. Like they were attached to the game. They were beat writers at one point. Like they was attached to the game. And now we sitting around, talking the game and topics. And there was a level of authenticity and there was a level of integrity that they had to have to be able to talk that shit. Now you could just jump on here and say what you want. So
right, Cold Pizza, Jim Rome. Jim Rome's another guy. I think Jim Rome is another guy that to me, he's a troll. His whole troll era to me is what, 50 Cent to me was a troll. And Tekashi 6ix9ine just took exactly what he did. But you know what the problem with Tekashi 6ix9ine is? He is horrible. What does he provide? There is zero entertainment value. I'm learning nothing from him. So that's what we don't like about what Skip Bayless did. It went from you on Cold Pizza, you on First Take, and Stephen A. Smith becoming characters. It's like I'm watching your show and I'm hearing my homeboys repeat what they say, and I'm like, yo, bro, I don't even care about what you're talking about. That has nothing to do with basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I was like. Oh, damn, Dime is right. Dime is right, bro. I remember arguing with people and they were just trying to sound like Stephen A., like really imitating. I'm just like, yo, bro, that's not. Do you have your own opinion? That's crazy. So maybe that's what it is. And I believe, like AllBall said earlier, and Dom mentioned earlier, I think we talented enough, we're entertaining enough, we got what it takes, we consistent enough, all of that. We look, and don't tell me, Fish, that's why I disagree with you, Fish. You can't tell me the cream don't rise to the top because they just gave Pat McAfee a crazy bag. Shannon Sharpe is rumored to get another $100 million. Colin Cowherd might get $100 million from ESPN. And I don't even like Colin Cowherd, but you can't tell me that the entertainers, the true ones, ain't making it. Pat McAfee's amazing. We see what he did at the ESPY Awards, and that was on a short. They told him in a short amount of time. Yeah. Entertainers are entertainers, bro. They will pay top dollar for it. Demand is demand. So yeah, with 50 it came to trolling, but don't forget 50 has a classic album, a classic career, and there's still integrity that comes with that. So maybe we're looking for the other side of 50 with this thing where it's not just trolling. Yo, we need this. We need the 4 sportsmen. I'm not so bad on it, but I'm sorry. I think I veered off because Richard Sherman, by the way, I think Skip Bayless, there's no way they're not putting in work and they didn't sit down in a room and they tried and tested this thing a million times.
Yeah.
He worked for ESPN,
I totally agree with
Jamie Horowitz. Yeah, some guy named Shapiro. Remember, they trying to spin off ESPN. This guy named something Shapiro on ESPN.
Yeah, he was the head. Mark Shapiro. He was the head head of ESPN. Horowitz was a head honcho over there, ESPN. They came over to Fox, FS1, and they took, they brought Skip with them.
Right.
When they left ESPN. So yeah, I agree with that though. I agree with that. I'm sure.
And Fish, I'm surprised. I'm sorry. I'm surprised what Fish is saying because, to me, that Cash Money connection, is not nothing to sneeze at. Like Baby and them, they ain't running from no money. They
I say y'all both.
but-
Everybody made great points. Like I said, I just feel, before we get off this topic, I just don't know if Richard Sherman can hold it down. Like I said, it has to be entertainment aspect to these things. I'm sorry, we may not like that. Some people may not like that. I don't know, but I'm gonna go with Flea. I'm gonna give it a shot. Why? Because he's a brother. So when it come on, I'm gonna give it a shot just because of that. It ain't got nothing to do with Skip. Like I said, I hope he gives Skip the business every chance he get. And I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. Like I said, it's just I don't know. I don't know.
No, I was gonna say.
Hold on, just real quick. Shannon set that bar real high,
He said
man.
yes, OG. He set a crazy bar that whoever was gonna come behind him, whoever was gonna come behind him, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Tough shoes to fill. Like I keep saying about recreating that magic on that they had on TV. Like they had that brother, older brother, little brother aspect to it. They had that, they're on opposite ends on football, opposite ends on basketball. Like they were completely on opposite ends of the spectrum. So if Sherm could come in there with that type of attitude, I don't think we got to worry about him being confident. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about that. But
got you.
Just being able to carry a show, it's not easy.
So Fish confirmed that it's Young Money. Baby got nothing to do with Skip. That's hilarious, and that's where I was gonna go with this. I'm saying all that, like, I think what everyone talks about Skip Bayless, that he prepares like no other. All of this stuff they prepare like no other. They're gonna be prepared for the end of August. Football season's coming up. There's no way you can convince me at this point I'm gonna bet on Richard Sherman being entertaining me 5 days a week. I'm sorry. I don't know what anyone is talking about. I don't care about that clip where he went viral with Skip Bayless, and he almost ended his career. That's what almost happened. Nobody talks about. They never invited him back on that show. They never invited Jalen Rose back on that show. This is Flea. Stephen A. Smith put it in his book. They never wanted that to happen again. The person who ended Skip Bayless on ESPN.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know who went to then you know who ended Skip Bayless on ESPN. Mm-hmm. Stephen A. Smith. Mm-hmm. He ended him because it went from Skip being the Teflon villain to Stephen A. always shooting him down and making him look silly to the point where they got him off screen, and Stephen A. would never want him back over there because he'll have too much equity. He doesn't want to give him a chance to get any equity on that show. But my point is, I don't see Richard Sherman. I haven't seen an ounce of this. Shannon Sharpe has been entertaining since the day he showed up on my television screen. That has never failed. He has never failed to make me laugh. So was I shocked about the whole thing with Shannon Sharpe and Skip Bayless? Nah, I wasn't, because of what he did with Dion. Well, I always talk about what he did with Dion, what he did on the CBS show. He was always amazing. And I have seen nothing like this with Richard Sherman. I expect this to be a total disaster, a bomb to drop on August 28th, whenever this thing debuts.
Gotcha.
We're gonna see.
Yeah.